Hello and welcome to the Malika Writes channel. My name is Malika Writes and today I want to do something special. On September the 2nd, 1973, Tolkien passed away. To remember his life, I wanted to talk a little bit about a little book he wrote. This story is not well known, but to me it is perhaps one of his greatest works. In this story, Tolkien's sense of humour leaps out of every page. His fears and ambitions are woven into every word. Much like A Picture of Dorian Gray was just about Oscar Wilde's passions and his life, and a reflection of his soul in a way. I think Leaf by Niggle is a product of Tolkien's soul. Leaf by Niggle is about an artist who is particularly good at painting leaves. One day it comes into his mind to paint an entire tree. Now, this is a really large task for someone who has only painted leaves so far. Nevertheless, he is determined and he begins to undertake this task. The more he paints, the bigger the project gets. And he is suddenly struck by the idea to add mountains behind the tree and field and valleys and all that other stuff to paint up the background. Several characters interrupt Niggle, only adding to his frustration because Niggle is running out of time. He must embark on a train journey soon. Before he finishes his painting, he has to go on his journey, from which he will never return. Much to his surprise, Niggle eventually finds himself inside the paradise that he painted, with a glorious tree standing behind him and mountains far away in the distance, and he will have eternity to essentially explore this paradise which he himself has painted. As a writer, Leaf by Niggle was a phenomenal read, and it was one of the stories that manages to make me cry. The story is not a sad story by any means. I mean, it has a bittersweet ending. A fire destroys Niggle's painting and only a single leaf survives. But Niggle is dead and he's in paradise, so he's far beyond the confines of the world and he isn't really worried about his painting. He's literally living inside this paradise. But the story speaks to Tolkien's own fears about the world of Middle-earth. It started out small, simple stories for his children, but then it became a mammoth task. One he didn't complete in his lifetime. His son Christopher carried on his father's legacy, a legacy we all get to enjoy because Tolkien made the decision to embark on a creative journey that he knew he might never get to complete. The story of Leaf by Niggle is like an intimate look into the heart of Tolkien, and reading it made me feel like reading a letter from a friend I could no longer speak to. It is a simple story by all accounts, but filled with emotion and yet very light-hearted, which is kind of characteristic of Tolkien. When he wrote The Hobbit, we get to see that light-hearted side of him. It sums up Tolkien perfectly, and it has a place of honour on my bookshelf. I hope you guys give it a read. It is a lovely book, and I think anyone who really loves Tolkien's work should read this book, because after you've finished reading all of the tales of Middle-earth and you've gone through the Silmarillion and the Hobbit and the trilogy and, Gondolin and you've Beren and Luthien and the Children of Húrin, and after you've done all of that, I recommend that you finish with Leaf by Niggle, because it's like a goodbye. It's a full stop after you've read everything and you've consumed it all. And to me, I read it after I'd finished reading all of the other books, and I think that's part of the reason why it made me cry. It felt like the journey had not come to an end, because I could read them all over again, and I do read them again regularly, but it felt like an appropriate end to everything. So I recommend fans of Tolkien give it a read. It's a very, very, very short story, but it's one that will stay with you forever. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you give Leaf by Niggle a try. So thank you very much for watching, and this has been the Malika Writes channel. I hope you have a lovely day.